You are Locked On Lakers POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rui and Dorian Finney-Smith came to play, but it was all LeBron James at Madison Square Garden as he leads the Lakers to a much-needed victory. We talk about it all on the Locked On Lakers postcast. I'm Dave Palet. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's going to be a great night as the Lakers win 128-112. We'll take your comments throughout the show, but we're going to talk Laker basketball as the Lakers' much-needed win. We're a confidence win against a team that's considered one of the better teams in the NBA on the road, playing without Anthony Davis. It's going to be a great night. First, I want to mention the people over at FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel app is easy to navigate, and the variety of bets keeps on going with every game to keep it exciting. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. No waiting around for winnings, whether you're betting on your favorite team or just looking to add some excitement to the action of the playoffs. FanDuel has you covered. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today to get started. $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Right there, again, Lakers win 128-112. How exciting, the Lakers taking on the Knicks. We spoke about it in the last show about the Lakers going to New York. It is always a big deal for superstars, whether it's Kobe Bryant, who scored 61 points, whether it was Michael Jordan, who always put on a show, and even LeBron James. Of course, LeBron James, one of the greatest, and maybe you can make the argument when it's all said and done, the greatest. So LeBron James, again, has a day off yesterday after playing in Washington, goes to New York, and he knows it's a nationally televised game, always looking to put on a show, right? Everybody knows that not only are people watching when ratings have been way down in the NBA this year, but people are watching LeBron. In New York, it's their only chance to see LeBron James make an appearance at Madison Square Garden once a year, and you don't know when it's going to be the last time. LeBron James came out aggressive. The team's defense was outstanding. Again, there's no Anthony Davis tonight. So the Lakers starting lineup has Jackson Hayes in it, and it's very similar to what we saw on Thursday. Actually, no changes from Thursday. When you look at what the Lakers were doing to start the game, the Lakers, #1, enter with 11-13 road record, but Jackson Hayes, Rui, Austin Reeves, Max Christie, LeBron James. Again, no Anthony Davis. We know he's out for at least a week. We don't know how long he will be out, but for the Lakers, every one of these games is extremely important as they continue to try and climb in the standings. Now, the Lakers got off to a very hot start. They made 7 of the first 9 shots, scoring 17 points in the first 4 minutes of the game. And you're going, man, this is awesome. This is exactly what the Lakers need to keep doing. Basically, the old football saying, punch them in the mouth. And the Lakers did that. The Lakers, like before you knew it, they had a bunch of points and you couldn't stop them. Guess what, though? The Knicks hung right with the Lakers. And unfortunately, the Knicks had 14 points in the same amount of time. So whereas the Lakers are scoring 17 points in 4 minutes, the Knicks are scoring 14 and just basically a 3-point shot away from having a tie game. And Lakers basketball, though, is very exciting. I'm not saying the team is better without Anthony Davis. I'll never say that. But what I think happens is everyone feels like, hey, if Anthony Davis isn't there, that means they're going to share the ball more. That means I get a chance to step up. I get a chance to make my shot. I get opportunities. So anyone who ever watches an NBA game, and I've done it too. I mean, I've watched NBA games, and I'm like, this guy stinks. And you start calling out certain guys on the team, whether they're the Laker players or players on the other team. Like there's a kid on the Knicks tonight at the end. I don't even have his name off the top of my head, but he's in the game when Bronny's in the game. And you're like, how in the hell is this guy in the NBA? But you know what? That guy was a star everywhere he went. That guy was a star in middle school. That guy was a star in high school. That guy was a star in college. And now he's playing in the NBA. The NBA is extremely tough to make a roster. And every one of these guys is great. They could all beat every one of us. If any of them showed up to where we play basketball, they'd easily be the star because they're professional basketball players at the highest level. And so for the Laker players to go, I've always been a star, and now is my opportunity without Anthony Davis to basically show what I can do. So when he does come back, I still get minutes. Everybody's always fighting for minutes in the NBA, and especially on this Laker team where we're trying to figure out what our bench is. I mean, very, very interesting to see how the Lakers go about their bench because it has been used so many different ways. We've seen guys on this team who at times have started games and then become bench players and then disappear. I mean, Max Christie was in that situation. Now Max Christie's playing 30 minutes a night. And then you're seeing, guys like Cam Reddish, same thing. He's in the doghouse. You just never know where guys are going to get their minutes. And so for the Lakers and all the players know it's after the All-Star break where things start forming into shape. Who are the guys that are going to get minutes? They're going to play for your team when it really matters in the postseason. And I think JJ Redick, Nate McMillan, Scotty Brooks, all those guys are trying to figure out what is best for this Laker team and what is the best combination. When Anthony Davis is out, this is a chance for these guys to show what they can do. So in the first quarter, Lakers shoot 57%. They from the field, they make 38% of their three-pointers, 3 of 8. Remember, they're 50% just the other day. Knicks, obviously, were shooting well. They shot 54%, which normally is enough to give you the lead, but they were tied. At the end of one, they were tied 32-32. Knicks shot 40% from three-point range, 2 of 5. Didn't shoot a ton. Usually, as you see in the NBA, guys are rifling up threes all the time. You're seeing an average team shooting 10 three-pointers a quarter. But for the Knicks, they only shot 5 rebounds. Knicks out-rebounded the Lakers 10-7. Not a surprise when Karl Anthony Towns is on the other side. Assists, Knicks had more. 11, Lakers had 6. Bench points, Knicks had 10. Lakers had 0. So interesting to see they were tied 32-32 just for the fact that both teams shot really well. Yet in the assist category, rebound category, the Knicks dominated the Lakers right there. Lakers were led in the quarter by LeBron James. As we mentioned before, started off the game hot, almost like I'm going to put on a show. I don't come to Madison Square Garden very much anymore. I don't play in the East anymore. But this is my opportunity on a Saturday night on ABC, playing in front of a bunch of different celebrities. I'm going to put on a show. And I think he knows the history of the game. What did Michael Jordan always do in New York? Always put on a show. What did Kobe Bryant always do? Always put on a show. Every one of those guys always say the same thing. It's my favorite place to play when I'm not playing home games. And Madison Square Garden, I don't know how many people who are listening to this show right now have been. I've actually been. I'll tell you right now, I think it's a little overrated. I think it's overrated. Everyone who says, how great it is to be at Madison Square Garden. The city of New York is outstanding. Madison Square Garden, it's old. It's not even close to as nice as what Crypto is. Crypto, to me, is still the best place to go in the NBA. I have friends who are play-by-play announcers in this league, and they travel around, and I always ask, what's it like, different arenas? And they say, you know what? When you travel enough and you're with the team long enough, they all feel the same, except this one, meaning Crypto. Crypto feels different. The lights are different. The atmosphere is different. The stars are different. And one thing about being in LA is it's the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers can't play against the Lakers to get up for a game. The Knicks are having a pretty good year this year, and it kind of felt like a playoff game tonight, just the atmosphere of New York and LA. And who knows if the whole Dodger feeling of the Dodgers wiping out both the Mets and the Yankees in the postseason a few months ago makes people in New York hate LA even that much more. But it's one of those where it's not the Lakers Celtics, but man, it feels pretty close when you're talking about East versus West for sure. When you talk about the NBA and these teams. Again, LeBron James, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists in the first quarter. Rui had a great first quarter as well. Rui with 12 points, including 2 made three-pointers. So for the Lakers, they were tied 32-32. That was outstanding. For also in the second quarter, Lakers win this one. This is where the Lakers had some separation. Lakers outscored the Knicks 27-22. Now, here's the interesting thing is Karl Anthony Towns did not score in the first quarter. Here's an all-star who's going against Anthony Davis normally. Anthony Davis, by the way, even though they're both Kentucky guys, Anthony Davis owns Karl Anthony Towns. Well, there's no Anthony Davis, so this is Karl Anthony Towns' chance to basically put up a really big night, and he couldn't score in the first quarter. The Knicks couldn't figure out a way to get him baskets and get his confidence going. He didn't have it. Karl Anthony Towns finally scored his first points with 2 minutes into the second quarter. Towns finished the quarter with 7. But at the same time, if you're the Lakers going in the half, you have to be pretty pleased with that here's an all-star player that's held 7 points when you don't have your number one guy guarding him. Now, the key to the second quarter was Dorian Finney-Smith. He was outstanding. 12 points in the quarter, made 4 three-pointers, and he was great. And the one thing that doesn't always, obviously show up in a box score unless you look deep into it is defense. Team defense, individual defense, you can kind of see. Dorian Finney-Smith is an outstanding defender. He's an outstanding three-point shooter. That's why they got him from the Nets, but also at the same time, a very good defender. So when we talk about defense on this team and, defense wins in the playoffs. It's not exciting, but defense wins. We've seen it for years. Dorian Finney-Smith, Jared Vanderbilt, you look at Max Christie, and you have Anthony Davis. All of a sudden, those are 4 top defenders in this league. And even Doris Burke made a comment about it. I don't know how much Lakers basketball she's watching on a regular basis, being a national person, but she could see it, that this Laker team defensively was outstanding. Again, outscored the Knicks 27-22 in the second quarter. 3-point shooting for the Lakers. Lakers shot 500. They were 6 of 12. Knicks were 3 of 11. Bench points for the Lakers. Lakers bench points, and that's because of Dorian Finney-Smith. Remember, they had 0 in the first quarter. For the Lakers, they had 14 in the second quarter. Knicks only had 5. They go into the half leading 59-54, and for the Lakers, very exciting right there to go, okay, here's a team right now that we're doing what we're supposed to do, playing our best basketball. And the question is, could this team hold on? Going into the half with the lead, could this team possibly hold on? We'll talk more about the halftime and what they did coming out in the third quarter in just a second. First, want to mention, of course, the people over at Intuit TurboTax. Again, taxes are waiting and wondering and worrying if you're going to get any money back, and then waiting, wondering, and worrying some more. Now, Taxes is matching with TurboTax Expert, who can do your taxes as soon as today. An expert who gives your taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return while you get real-time updates on the progress so you can focus on your day. An expert who will find every deduction possible, file every form, every investment, everything. Okay, 100% accuracy. You don't need to worry. So all you have to do is worry about getting your money back, and that's guaranteed. No waiting, no wondering, no worries at all. This is tax season. Look, get an expert on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live full service, real-time updates, only in an iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. All right. So we'll get to your comments in just a second as well, but first want to go over some of the halftime stuff with you on what the Lakers were looking at halftime and how they matched up. At the half, again, Lakers up 59-54, led in scoring by LeBron James. He had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Rui Hachimura had 15 points. Dorian Finney-Smith had 12. Austin Reeves, at this point, only had 10. But it's still, the Lakers are playing great team basketball, okay? So for the Knicks, they got bad news. Their top player, a newer boy, he had 10 points. Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns only had 7, but they lose their number one scorer early in the third quarter with a sprained ankle. So it kind of changed things a little bit for them, but overall, I don't think he was the reason why the Knicks lost this game. Shooting percentage for the Lakers at the half, 54%, 3-point shooting, 45%, 9 of 20. Knicks, 45% shooting, 31% from behind the arc, 5 of 16. Lakers rebounding, were out-rebounded for the entire half, 24-17. Assists, Knicks still had more, 17-14. And bench points, Lakers got better in the bench. They were shut out, as I said before, with the bench play. Lakers, obviously, with Dorian Finney-Smith, huge turnaround for the Lakers. And turnovers kind of equal. Lakers had 10, Knicks had 9. Remember, the Lakers were 21-4 when leading at the half coming into tonight's game. Obviously, now they're 22-4. So things are looking good for the Lakers going in the half. It's always that third quarter that we worry about as far as what are they going to look like. And I think we worry about that not only in basketball, we worry about it in the NFL as well. If you have an NFL team, what's the team going to look like coming out in the third quarter, especially if you're the team that's receiving the kickoff. But for the Lakers, guess what? They lost the third quarter, 35-32. At the time after the third, it was 91-89. New York won the quarter on Josh Hart's three-pointer as time expired. Remember the shot that he threw up that banked in? That's fine. As I told you, a new boy left the game early in the third quarter, right ankle sprain. Now, LeBron James picked up his 4th foul midway through the third quarter. This is one of those things that makes zero sense to me. I mean, it's one of those things where you always hear about the Jordan rules and, different superstars get calls the way. Honestly, feel like, and I know people that don't like the Lakers say LeBron complains all the time. I think LeBron honestly has a reason to complain on a lot of these. 4 fouls for LeBron. Wait a second. This is a nationally televised game. Ratings have been, plummeting for this league. I mean, the NBA has some serious problems and trying to figure out how to fix the ratings problem because a few years ago, the NBA was going through the roof and this is the sport of the young people and young people aren't watching baseball. They're watching the NBA. Well, all of a sudden, NBA ratings are dipping. So you could tell me that the referees are going to take LeBron James out of this game on a nationally televised game, number 1 media market against the number 2 media market. It didn't seem like the calls were even. And I know when you're the road team, they aren't exactly even, but there were one in there where the Lakers challenged on Rui and the Lakers still didn't win the challenge. The NBA challenge rule is the most ridiculous thing going. We could literally see, let's say, Rui pick the ball up and rifle it into the crowd, and then they'll review it and say, we didn't see it. It's how many times over and over again, you just never know what you're going to get. Number one, the process takes way too long. And two is, even though we all see it as fans and the broadcasters are saying, oh, yeah, they're going to overturn this, they don't. They hardly ever overturn anything. It's very rare that it happens. It's a horrible problem. It's a horrible problem for the league. But my complaint is, I don't understand how it seemed like that the NBA officials could do almost everything they could to send LeBron James to the bench. At this point, I was kind of like, all right, if he fouls out with 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter and you don't have him, how good is that for your ratings? The combination is LeBron, Lakers, Madison Square Garden, New York, and you're putting on a heck of a show. That's the way it goes, but that's just my complaint. Austin Reeves led the Lakers in the quarter. He had 13 points. LeBron had 10 in the quarter. Through three quarters, LeBron had 26, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, on his way to a triple-double, which we know he got. Austin Reeves, 23 points, 5 assists for him. And Josh Hart, former Laker, 18 through three quarters to lead the Knicks. Okay, so fourth quarter, as we go into the fourth quarter and the Lakers, again, going, are they going to hold on? The Knicks have won 5 straight games coming into tonight's game. So with them winning, 5 straight games, you're going, this is a pretty good Knicks team. There's no way they're just going to turn over and fold. Well, the Lakers actually complaint that was they didn't jump out to a really good start in the third quarter. They jumped out to a great start in the fourth quarter. Lakers jumped out to a 7-point lead, 98-91. They expanded that to 101-93 on Max Christie's three-point play. Gabe Vincent's three-pointer gave the Lakers the biggest lead at this point of the night, 104-93 with 9:01 left. And there was no looking back. Lakers go on to win 128-112. So it was a fantastic night overall for the Los Angeles Lakers. Great night for the LA Lakers. Very exciting. If you're a Laker fan, you should be extremely happy tonight. Be extremely happy with basically this the way the week went outside of the 76ers game. This has been a pretty good road trip. And, you never know what you're going to get this time of year when you talk about that whole Grammy road trip and you say, all right, this is a long time away from home. Can the Lakers continue to play well? Well, you lose Anthony Davis on this road trip. It becomes a head scratcher of, is this going to be bad from Anthony Davis getting hurt all the way to obviously the Lakers coming back to Los Angeles when they're going to face the Clippers on Tuesday night? Will the Lakers go into a slump? Well, they didn't. The Lakers did what they're supposed to do, winning big games. Lakers have some really big wins over the last 10 days or so. Don't forget about the win against the Boston Celtics, the win last Saturday night against the Golden State Warriors, and then, of course, the win tonight on the road against the Knicks. Lakers are a team right now that I don't think a lot of teams are looking at and saying, man, we want to play that team in the postseason. The Lakers should be getting better. A lot of talk, of course, about possible trades and adding players. We'll see what Rob Pelinka can do in this situation. Obviously, if you make a trade, a lot of times you're going to have to overpay off, so you have to make it work with the salary cap. But for the Lakers right now, they're doing a really good job. And as much as maybe we complain about Dorian Finney-Smith and is he in the right role coming off the bench, and maybe he should be a starter because he played well as a starter, played a great game tonight. Maybe it was just being, hey, I was a member of the Nets. I'm back in New York, and I'm ready to put on a show. And he did. He came through big time for this team when they needed it most, and it was absolutely fantastic for them. So again, exciting for us and for the Laker fans. Extremely exciting to see the direction this team is going, where it gives you a little bit of confidence that this team is okay. This team should be okay and should be getting better, especially leading to after the All-Star break. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I want to mention the people over at FanDuel. Again, FanDuel Super Bowl 59 is here. One game, two teams, endless possibilities, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting with FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or even betting on the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to get in all the action with live betting all game long. You can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill from kickoff to the final whistle. The live betting app that keeps you involved no matter what happens on the field. The app is super easy to navigate. Plus, knowing that you can place $5 bets and win potentially $200 in bonus bets for the Super Bowl, that's the icing on the cake. Download the app today. It's FanDuel.com to get started. Bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Bet with FanDuel, the official partner of Super Bowl 59. All right. So here's the deal with the Lakers and their success. we're very excited, right? Beating good teams, beating teams that have superstars on it, taking care of the Boston Celtics at home, taking care of the Golden State Warriors on the road, taking care of the New York Knicks on the road. Things are pretty good in Lakerland right now. Outside of not knowing when Anthony Davis is coming back, things are going pretty good for the Lakers. And if you're a Laker fan, you got to feel pretty excited again on a Saturday night, knowing that things are going in the right direction for this team. All right, so let's look at some of the comments. Hey, Craig, good to see you, of course, as always. I agree, Craig, what you said here in your first comment. Best defense of the year. Could not agree more. All of a sudden, defense is exciting. And the Lakers team defense was great. Individual defense was great. I'm very pleased with that. BC, thanks for joining me on a Saturday night. Go Lakers with a bunch of emojis. That's awesome. Lakers, again, so what do you got here, BC? Lakers have won 11 titles since the Knicks won their last one in 1973. Exactly. Again, I will say this to anyone who's a Knicks fan. Said it in the last show. The Knicks are overrated. Knicks have not won since 1973. How many of you that listen to the show were even alive in 1973? Knicks fans talk like, oh, we've always been good. You haven't. You've been a disappointment. Even when you make it to the NBA Finals, you lose. You've lost to teams like the Rockets. You lose to teams like the Spurs. I mean, give me a break. The Knicks whole dynasty thing that they talk about, being huge fans. And if you go to New York and you ask them, is this a football town, a basketball town, a baseball town? Even with the Yankees and the success of the New York Giants, they talk about the Knicks. This is a basketball city. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. If you're a basketball city, that's fine. Maybe because LA wins so many championships. I always say LA, my entire life, has always felt more like a Laker town than any other team in Los Angeles. It's starting to feel a lot more like a Dodger town of late, because they're kind of going with the Laker method. You can either point to this as Magic Johnson, or you can point to this as far as people get addicted to winning. But when you go to a Dodger game now, a lot of times Dodger games feel like Laker games. Listen to how loud the music is at Dodger Stadium compared to the way it used to be if you went to the games before the Magic Johnson, Mark Walters group, Guggenheim bought the team in 2012. And look at that team and look at how different it is. The Dodgers put on a show, and the Dodgers put on a show the way the Lakers put on a show. If you're going to spend the money, you're going to go to a live event, you're going to go, man, this is exciting. There's a reason for being at Dodger Stadium. There's a reason for being at Crypto, and you want to be part of the party. And it's the atmosphere they've created. And so you take a little bit out of the Laker handbook, and all of a sudden it feels like we have two big-time teams that do it better than anyone else in their sports. And David Stern always said before, he says, what's your perfect NBA Finals matchup? Because my perfect NBA Finals matchup would be Lakers against Lakers. And so obviously you can't do that, but it shows you how important the Lakers are to the rest of the sports universe. So again, what a night. As I sit there and I do this and I look at the jerseys that are behind my head, superstar after superstar, and it's always been great to be a Laker fan. It's one of the things I'm obviously most pleased about, is that I got lucky that I ended up with a good basketball team to follow that's always been exciting my entire life. Defense was outstanding. LeBron James was great. I don't care if LeBron James is 40 or not. That is a tremendous night from anybody. The fact that LeBron James at age 40 puts on that show for the people at Madison Square Garden, absolutely incredible. But LeBron is a great player. Always as you run into different Laker fans, and in my time, Magic Johnson was my first favorite player. I obviously did a lot of research. It was before my time was Jerry West, but when you look at what Jerry West had done for this franchise as a player and what he did for the team as a GM, Jerry West basically had his hand on almost every Laker championship since they've been in Los Angeles. The guy was incredible, and that's why we talk about Jerry West and the logo and what he was. But for people like my son, and I'm a huge Kobe fan, I'll tell you the greatest Laker of all time in my lifetime is Kobe Bryant. And I love Magic Johnson, but Kobe Bryant has turned into that guy between his work ethic and Shaquille O'Neal's time with Kobe and the excitement they had there. And I know we have the argument about how many championships could they have won if Shaquille would have stayed. That's a conversation for another day. But overall, when you look at LeBron James, amazing. All the years in the league that LeBron James has been in the league, to keep the level of play this high, to keep away from injuries, knock on wood, LeBron James has been absolutely incredible. The most balanced basketball player that I've ever seen, whether it's his passing, whether it's his ability to track down a defender, block a shot, hit key shots. LeBron James is a guy that I think when he's gone, everyone will appreciate him a little bit more. Even the people that love Kobe so much that they refuse to say how good LeBron James actually is. LeBron's a tremendous player that doesn't get the credit I think he deserves while he's playing. But I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be tough. I heard someone, and I would give credit to it, used a quote this week saying Michael Jordan was the telephone. Well, basically, when the telephone came out, it was great. You couldn't stop talking about how great this invention was. But LeBron James is the iPhone now. And I couldn't agree more. He's just different. And if you haven't gone to see LeBron James in person, and I know it's expensive, but if you ever get a chance to see LeBron James in person, I'll say the same thing I said when I used to watch Michael Jordan. Until you see him in person, you don't realize how great he is. And one thing about Michael and one thing about LeBron, every time I've watched them play, I've always walked away saying that guy is the fastest guy on the court. And at age 40, he doesn't look like he's missing a beat. Whether he's going around Josh Hart, whether it's driving to the lane with a dunk that you see Chris Rock lose his mind out. And when he sees it, LeBron James puts on a heck of a show. And when LeBron James is focused, I think this team is playing really well. I think another reason is LeBron James isn't in the stage where he's bored. He has his son watching. Anyone that's a dad knows they never want to look bad in front of their kid. So, Craig, you mentioned that Bronny got the biggest ovation. I can't explain it. I love the fact that they have the father-son relationship. Anything having to do with father and sons, I'm obviously a big fan of. Who doesn't love that relationship? But the fact that Bronny, number one, is accepted in Los Angeles, we kind of expect. The fact that Bronny goes on the road and people want to see him is amazing to me. Would never have guessed. Actually, I would have guessed that would have been just the opposite. That Bronny would have been one of those guys that gets booed because people would have called nepotism. And they said, who wants to see that? That's ridiculous. But they don't. We saw in Washington. He got an MVP chance when he was shooting free throws. So pretty cool to see what's going on with this kid. And I never wish anything bad against a young guy trying to make it in the league. The fact he's LeBron's kid, hey, it comes with it. You want to keep LeBron on the Lakers, you draft his kid. The fact that people across the country are cheering for him, did not see that coming at all. I thought it would be just the opposite completely. So here we go. Lakers win again, 128-112. Very exciting. Let's see where the Lakers are right now as far as how that affected them in the standings tonight. Because as we said before, we want to see the Lakers be, moving up in the Western Conference standings. As I said all the time, I want to see them as a top 4 seed is where I'd like to see them. Right now, the Lakers weren't a top 4 seed coming into the game. They're actually number 5. We'll see where they're at right now. So Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City's won 7 of their last 10. They're still the number 1 seed. They have a 6.5 game lead over the 2 seed Houston Rockets. Memphis Grizzlies, they're right there, 6.5 games back as well. They're tied with the Rockets, same exact record, 32-16. Denver Nuggets, the team that scares me the most right now when it comes to matchups with the Lakers, because it seems like the Nuggets play their best basketball. Plus, they talk a ton of trash. Drives me crazy that the Denver Nuggets, who never did anything for my entire life, all of a sudden can talk trash and they can back it up against the Lakers. They're ahead of the Lakers in the number 4 seed. They're 9 games out right now. They've won their last 2 games. Lakers are the 5 seed, just 1 game behind the Nuggets. So that's pretty good. We're almost there in the number 4 slot. Lakers right now are 28-19. It's the most they've been over 500 at 28-19. Okay, pretty good. JJ Redick right now kind of tipping your hat to him, going, good job. Your team's 9 games over 500. Big game coming up on Tuesday. Lakers go again back to the Clippers. They play at Intuit on Tuesday night. Clippers are behind the Lakers by a half a game. Clippers have won their last 2. They've won 7 of the last 3. Lakers have won 8 of their last 10. Clippers have won 7 of the last 10. Lakers have won 8 of their last 10. So Lakers are 8-2. Clippers 7-3. Big game. Don't overlook that. It would be nice to see the Lakers win that game because last time they faced off a couple weeks ago, the Clippers completely embarrassed the Los Angeles Lakers. 7th seed Minnesota getting better over and over again. Minnesota's now the 7th seed. Phoenix Suns, the 8th seed. Dallas Mavericks have won only 4 of their last 10, and the Dallas Mavericks are, of course, playing with injured players. They're just limping into the All-Star break. They're 26-23. Sacramento Kings are ready to trade De'Aaron Fox, our 500 team. They're 24-24. Again, Golden State Warriors are 24-24 too. The Warriors will make a move. I mean, I think everyone's expecting the Warriors are going to make a move. They're going to be the one team that tries to make a move to get better, whereas Sacramento is looking at it as we don't have a chance to win, not only now, but in the foreseeable future. Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry are saying we got to make a move to help Steph out as he's, has a few years remaining. That's why I keep thinking Jimmy Butler seems like the fit there. I know the talk was Phoenix Suns. It just seems like Jimmy Butler is going to end up somehow with the Warriors. It always seems like there's certain teams in the league that don't ever seem to have salary cap issues. The Warriors seem to always get players. San Antonio Spurs, team of the future, as they say. Darren Fox wants to be traded to the Spurs, wants to play with Wembanyama. The Spurs are 16.5 out. Portland, New Orleans, Utah, all those guys are out of it. So again, the Lakers are the 5th seed right now. If the season ended today, plenty of time to go into the season for the Lakers. I think the Lakers haven't played their best basketball yet, which is a good sign because they've been playing outstanding over the last 10 days. In the East, Cleveland, they're 39-9. They're the number 1 team, 5.5 game lead over the Boston Celtics. Cleveland, though, even though they've won 3 in a row, they've only won 6 of their last 10. So you aren't seeing those 10-game winning streaks or the 9-1 in their last 10. Cleveland kind of coming back down to earth, which sounds kind of ridiculous to say. I know they're 30 games over 500. But again, Cleveland is a team that if they're in the NBA Finals and win the NBA championship, would you be shocked? I think a lot of people would. The Boston Celtics last year were so dominating that I think most people still would say if they had to put their money on it, they'd go Boston Celtics coming out of the East. And the Knicks are the 3 seed. Knicks just, again, their 5-game winning streak came to an end tonight. Knicks are still 15 games over 500. The Eastern Conference completely different. And the 4 seed, and I'll mention this, I usually never even go to the 4 seed. It's the Indiana Pacers, and the Lakers will face the Pacers next Saturday in Los Angeles. So the Pacers are not a bad team, 7 games over 500, but they're the 4 seed. So Laker basketball right now, they're getting better. You know, keep your head up. Things are moving in the right direction. I'm very pleased with the way things are going. So here's the deal. We'll be back on Tuesday. Lakers take on the Clippers. Again, I think we'll be doing the show with Pete Fox, who covers the Clippers on Locked On. And at the same time, if you need Laker basketball every single day, you have it. Brian and Andy do a great job to keep it covered with all the Laker talk. And then at the same time, any one of these shows you want to listen to, you can catch them anywhere you get your podcasts, anywhere they're all right there. But otherwise, my name is Dave Palet. You can follow me on social media. You can direct message me. I'll write you back. But appreciate you guys spending your time with me as I do every single game, especially Craig BC. I see you guys here every single night. So that's awesome that you guys follow along. I know you guys are huge Laker fans. One of these days, we got to go to a game together. I'm curious to know, to pick your brain of what's happening, but we actually got to hit a game together. But overall, thank you so much for following again the Locked On Lakers postcast. I'm here every single game, and again, thank you for spending your time with me. But Lakers win tonight. Final score 128-112 over the New York Knicks. LeBron James triple-double. What a night for Laker basketball. We'll see you Tuesday, everybody.